Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Outside the Box, No Filter Football, where we talk about footy without sugarcoating anything. On today's episode, we'll be discussing the World Cup squads for four teams that have been officially announced. And those four teams are England, France, Brazil, and Portugal. I am your host, Ray, and today I'm welcomed by our guest, Sergio. Sergio, we're going to start off with England squad, and we're going to talk about what we like about it, what we don't like about it, what if the coach made the right decisions. Let's talk about it.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks again for having me on the podcast. It was fun last time, so I'm expecting different this time.
Heck yeah.
I mean, for starters, the team looks okay. Um, let's talk about the good things first because there's a lot
Yeah.
to say.
There-
There's like both. There's a lot. Yeah. Anyways, um,
There's a lot of
defender.
decipher on this one.
Yeah, defender wise, I guess he has players that are coming in form to some sense. The one that doesn't really make sense to me is John Stones. Gehi, since he made his move, has had his up and downs. He does look a little more solid. Nico O'Reilly,
He's in
at the
form.
back position, he's very in form.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I think he might be the one that stands out in that defense specifically.
I think one of the
'Cause you
surprising ones from the defenders is Livramento.
Livramento and John Stones. Dude,
Livramento's the left back for Newcastle, and he's actually the backup left back to Lewis Hall.
no, Lex Lewis Hall. So they're both. Livramento is the backup to Lewis Hall, which is Lewis Hall did not make it
Yeah,
surprisingly. So, but we'll talk about that
exactly.
after. The one surprise that does stick out to me is John Stones.
Yeah,
I don't think he's played a full 90 minutes since
3-4
August
years.
or September. Yeah, literally, it feels like
Years.
forever since he's even played 90 minutes of football. But
Yup.
the midfield, I think for what he has, seems pretty solid. Declan Rice, in their previous
I mean,
Arsenal episode, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I think he's probably their best midfielder going in form throughout the whole season. Elliot Anderson, great pickup, Nottingham Forest.
yeah, he's a great pick.
He's been on the come up. I know he's gone through some stuff with his mom passing away, but that didn't really stop him. It's only motivated him even more. The ones Jordan Henderson, God knows how old he is, like 50 years old.
Oh, I don't know why he got called up.
I don't know either. If it's to keep the team intact and like for leadership reasons, then maybe. But I don't see that. Yeah. Kobe Mainu. So happy to see him as a United supporter and just in general. Up and coming in the Euros a couple years ago, and now he made the World Cup squad. After being omitted by Amorim for a minute, Carrick has really found his play style and how he fits his formation. He's really shown out these past couple months.
He's in form
with Carrick. Yes, absolutely.
He looks great.
Yes,
like a box to box. He's playing very well.
And then we got Jude.
They had Eze,
Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers, I think, is also going to be someone to look out for. And then I feel like he can make a difference when things start to get a little rough. He's very creative with Aston Villa. Led them to glory. I believe he's the one that scored the banger, the second goal in the Europa League against Freiburg. Crossing from Digne
2 days ago. Yeah,
first timer. Yeah, but yeah, overall great talent. Eze, since he made the move in the winter, he's been pretty good, pretty consistent. Yeah, and then Jude has his up and downs, but no surprise there.
He had a banger today.
Yes, he did. It
was phenomenal goal.
The obvious ones, Kane. We don't gotta talk about Kane. We know what he's been doing this whole season. It's been insane. Ollie Watkins also. I don't think he'll fight Kane for that starting position, but that'd be a good step off the bench. Or if Tuchel decides to go with two up front, I think those two are more than capable of getting a game done by themselves. Ivan Toney, Uh, Saudi has bagged, I think, 30 plus goals, I believe, this season, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like
And
28.
28, okay, in all
Yeah.
competitions. So also, I think
Oh,
it is
in all
Saudi, but
competitions, it's more than 30. Just
okay,
in the Saudi league, it was about 28.
okay. So that's pretty solid. I know it's Saudi. Everyone talks about Saudi, but I think overall, 28 goals is still 28 goals.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't take that
yeah.
away from anyone.
And
Um,
as a sub player, if you're down or you need that energy, just because like Harry Kane's a great finisher, but
yeah,
he is not
Mm,
pacey. You know, like he
yeah,
doesn't have that pace. He's not a cheetah. He's a very slow choo choo train. You know,
yes,
but you get
but he
him in
is
the
a very
box,
effective choo-choo
yeah,
train.
you get him
Yeah,
that opportunity to score, and he's gonna score for you. He's going to score,
yes,
and then you got Saka, Rashford, Gordon, Madueke. I think great pickups. Rashford for
yeah.
Barcelona on loan,
Ever since he made that change, yes, yes.
he was
Ever since he made
phenomenal.
that change to Barca, Flick has
He found his
found
form.
something in him that made him explode. I hope he comes back to United. I know he's on loan. But I mean that's for a different discussion. Saka,
Nah,
Saka, obviously Arsenal's captain.
still great.
Good
He's
pickup.
great.
Yeah. Gordon, I think he has also a pretty solid season. I believe he had, I want to say, 10 goals in the Champions League. So he was one of the
Wow.
higher scoring. Yeah, he scored a lot of goals. Although he did form, I
Yeah.
think, like a hat trick against some whack team. But besides that, he had 10 goals. 10 goals is 10 goals.
Yeah.
Um,
Tango's still in the Champions.
Madueke is the only one that's like kind of iffy. But I mean, for what he selected, um, I think he found a group that's maybe not so talented, but he knows that will work cohesively
Chemistry.
as
Yeah.
a team, correct. And then to finish off with the goalkeepers, Pickford, Henderson, Trafford, probably the
No
best
surprises
goalkeepers you
on
have in
those.
all of England. So there's no surprise
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Because there's not a
Um,
lot of like great English goalkeepers.
Nothing really stands out.
And
Now
now let's
the
talk about the omissions. So Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Trent, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Morgan Gibbs White,
Gibbs White, yeah.
and I would
Um,
think that those are like the biggest ones that I
yes,
think of that
that
that actually matter. That matter.
yes, and kind of to piggyback off what I was saying about like the chemistry. Um, Foden, very talented. He's had a very off season this year with City. Maybe he's not in the best form. Palmer, also, they both kind of play the same position, one on the left, one on the right, or whatever you want to do with them. But I just feel like their form hasn't been there. Now, granted, talent wise, do I think they're better than Anthony Gordon? Personally, yes. But I'm assuming what Tuchel's trying to do is bring these players to one goal. England's always had this. I'm gonna call up all the stars and see what I can do with them. I mean, if you
Yeah,
look at the defense, someone didn't mention on defense who,
Harry
you know,
Maguire,
yeah, Harry Maguire.
Luke Shaw.
Yeah, Luke. I mean, Harry Maguire's been,
He's
he's
been
weird.
great for England. He's been
Yeah,
for England
yes,
for the international team.
yes,
He has been great and consistent from every single year. Even when he was doggy at Man U, at least for
yes.
England, he showed up. He always showed up. So for me, that is a
Always.
very huge surprise. I
Yeah.
know a lot of
And
people in the
also
media.
are
Go ahead.
shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Also, Luke
Yeah,
Shaw. Maguire, Luke Shaw, both. Again, I'm a United fan. You're a United fan. For the club, injuries, out of form, whatever. But it's like they get to England and they remind me of Memo Ochoa. They're like, oh, I remember how to play soccer. I'm like the
yeah.
best at my position.
It's a
Literally.
diff. Literally, they pick up their level. I just feel
Yeah.
like yeah, it's how you said. Like usually England's like, oh, pick up the stars, bring them, and then like we'll try to perform with just individual talent. And I like even Trent. Trent, he has very good chemistry with Saka, like on both on the right side. And for me, that's a surprise. At least even to just not bring him. Like you could have just brought him as a sub. But
Yeah.
Foden and Palmer, like you're bringing Henderson, you're bringing Jordan Henderson, but you're not
Listen,
bringing Cole
in
de Palmer and Phil Foden that could
Foden, yeah.
like legitimately they could play like if you have to put him in the midfield they could or like say Saka is tired or just rotational player they could even play on the
That's a
right. You
perfect
know,
yes, absolutely. And again, I don't foresee Jordan Henderson getting any minutes.
no,
If maybe the
no.
third game when they've already tied up first place in their group, throw in the last 45 minutes to give your player a rest. Other than that, if he's starting game one, I'm gonna be a very, very confused man, to say the least. I will be very, very, very confused.
I think this is because of the names he omitted, you know, like didn't call up for the England national team. I think this is
Yeah,
actually a weaker English side than it could have potentially been, for, especially for the World Cup.
absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
these are star players, and yeah, granted, like if they weren't playing very well, Foden, he did have like a up and down season, but like at the end of the day, at least Foden recently he's been in form for Man City. He's actually been performing well, scoring, assisting. He's been
Yeah,
looking great on the pitch, and it's like not bringing him is a surprise. Like if you're not gonna start Henderson at all, why not bring a player that could make an impact if you're losing? You know?
offensively, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Yes, if you need that like spark, granted, maybe like not the best season, but he is one that if he's in at the right time and in the right circumstance, he
He's a
he
difference
can change
maker.
a game for you. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, yes, and so that's why I think. I mean, like English media's. You know, we're all both fans of the Premier League and everything, and on Twitter as well. But yeah, like the outrage is like insane because I mean, granted, like some of these star players, they will make a difference, especially for the World Cup, and you decided not to bring them, but yet
Yeah,
you bring some questionable other names. Like, what's your
and they were
logic? You know,
probably
what's the
yeah,
coach's logic?
and they were probably looked at like the building blocks to have this very stacked English squad, not just for this World Cup, but even not. I'm thinking like 4, maybe even 8 years when they're like veterans, still some of the pillars of that team. Um, I look at Jed Spence. Jed Spence, what right back for Tottenham
Yeah,
in a relegation battle. You're gonna take someone like him over someone like Trent,
yeah, Trent.
who's and now granted Trent doesn't give you any defense. I think we all know that. But offensively speaking, if you need that spark, also
If you need that
send them
goal,
exactly. Send
yeah.
them down and just
Yeah.
figure it out. So yeah,
No, agreed, agreed. And I mean, I had before um the roster got announced, I had very high hopes for England. I think this does put them down a level because, I mean, even even just some of these players, like it will make a difference. I believe it will make a difference unless he has something cooking that we don't know, you know. But like they also haven't looked great in the last couple of months
yeah.
internationally at the even in friendlies and everything, you know. So
He's either gonna be a genius or
a
England's
madman, a madman.
madman and public enemy number one, and gonna be looked as a mole because he's German. But that's the English squad. If I give it overall 7 out of 10, I expect him to get out of the
Seven.
first round. I
I was
expect
gonna
him to
say
get out of
seven as well.
the round of 16. Depending on how their luck goes, maybe quarters. I don't see him getting past quarters though. When you
Round
got
of
other teams who are
16.
no getting out of quarterfinals.
Oh, you got them getting out of quarters?
No, I say no farther than quarters. If they
Oh,
get to the
okay.
semifinals, I'd be very surprised. But I think
I
they'll
don't.
at least make quarterfinals.
I'll have to look at the bracket and depending how it goes, like you know, if they get first or second, you know, like play with the numbers
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think if things
I,
play out, then maybe, but I don't foresee them going too far.
I don't see him past quarters for sure, especially with this squad. No, no.
I think we're both on the same page with that one.
All right, let's go to the next one, which I mean, it's hit or miss, but let's go to the Brazilian squad real quick. Goalkeepers, you know, Allison's gonna start. They got two other goalkeepers, backups. They're not even gonna get play time. Maybe they'll get like 5 minutes. Defenders, Alexandro, Bremer,
Big
Danilo,
Alexandro and the big 2026. Jesus Christ.
Douglas Santos, Gabriel,
Yeah,
Marquinhos, and Wesley. So like the starters are gonna be Gabriel, Alexandro,
Bremer.
Marquinhos. and I think
or maybe Bremer,
no,
one of those two.
Bremer didn't get called up. Oh no, yeah, Bremer, but he's not a right
No, he
back; he's a
did.
center back.
He's sent it back. Well, so yeah, so it's like Marquinhos, who's I
He's
don't know.
good.
This Brazil team is the only one that is safe is even though
Gabriel
he plays so haramball is Gabriel.
or Romba. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because of Arsenal. But Gabriel
He's
is
like a
by far their
guarantee
best.
starter. Guarantee
Yeah,
starter.
yeah, by far their best defender. Center
Yeah,
back wise, it's between Bremer and Marquinhos who you're going to throw back there with Gabriel. Um,
it
I
has to
know
be
the
Marquinhos
age.
just because
And
of
it probably
PSG.
and yeah, it'll most likely
Just
be Marquinhos.
he's great. He's great for PSG. Midfielders, we have Casemiro, Bruno G from Newcastle, Fabinho. I'm surprised by that one. Lucas
Mm-hmm.
Paqueta, and then Danilo
Danilo
Santos.
Santo.
So
Yeah,
I'm actually
midfielders.
I'm surprised by this one because it's like all right, like I think Casemiro and Bruno G start, and
Yeah,
then
and then
maybe at Cam you'll have Neymar. Neymar got called up, but I
yeah,
don't
he
think
did get
Neymar
called
is
up.
going to be used as a winger or an attacker. I think his position will be Cam.
Cam, yeah, and they're probably gonna give him the liberty to kind of stay a little more up top. I mean, you
Yeah,
bring in Paqueta maybe for some fresh legs. Yeah, but Neymar's not for 90 minutes. Neymar will be
no,
that spark. Neymar, it would be like Phil Foden or like a Cole Palmer, like that little spark off the bench to kind of help you if you need to catch a goal or whatever. Um, Up top, well, and then the other forwards are Endrick. You
Martinelli.
got Martinelli, you got Cunha, Ryan. I'm kind of glad to see him. 19 years old, plays for Bournemouth. He really exploded in the scene this year with them. Hopefully he gets moved to a bigger club.
I mean, he played
However,
very well against Man City a few days ago.
yes, he did.
He was
So
playing very well.
youngster has a pretty bright future, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Rafinha, aside from his injuries, I think he's probably one of the reasons why Barca was able to win this league. He's by far Barcelona's best man. The attack goes through him and
Agreed.
Yamal, but you know, um,
Rafinha's saucy.
yeah, very
Rafinha's
important
saucy.
piece. Vini, no surprise there. Martinelli, no surprise there. Igor Thiago could maybe fight for that starting position with Brazil.
Endrick.
Endrick, yeah, Endrick's had a really good season since he left Madrid on loan. The
Yeah,
one
he's been
forward I
great.
am
Been great
surprised,
for Leon.
yeah, I'm not surprised here is Joao Pedro. Um,
Oh yeah, that didn't get called
tw-
up.
20 goals this season. Uh, I mean,
And
when you
he
look at the other forwards, like
I was gonna say he's one of those players that's also kind of like a Foden. Like if you need him as striker or maybe just replace one of the wingers or Cam, like as a false nine, like Joao Pedro could do that. And like
yeah,
he's
he
he's
can.
talented. He's very talented. And
Yes,
like to not bring him, I feel like it's a mistake because it's the same thing as the Englishing that we were speaking about. Like he could be that little difference maker, you know. Like you're down one goal, like you just need that
throw another
spark,
forward.
someone
Yeah,
fresh legs, someone who's talented, you know, that can't score. Not
yeah,
bringing him, I'm very surprised by that one.
yeah. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, I agree. If you're coming down to like the forwards, like strikers, you pick Igor Thiago or Joao Pedro. I think just season wise, I gotta go Igor,
Yeah,
Mateus Cunha or Joao Pedro. Maybe
I
the
still put
bias in me,
Cunha.
but I still probably put Cunha. Endrick or Joao Pedro. I think the season that Endrick has had,
Yeah,
just because
incredible.
of the situation he was in, he was able to make a move and then just really explode in
Oh yeah,
France. And he's been riding the momentum not just for a little bit. He's been riding the momentum the entire season. Joao
the
Pedro
entire
started off
season.
hot, and and not just Joao Pedro, but the whole Chelsea team just kind of fizzled out. They went like what, like a whole month
Yeah,
scoring like one goal. It was a penalty. So that really speaks to like
yeah.
the highs and lows of that team. Also could speak to the highs and lows that he's had throughout the season too. Don't
Oh,
get me
yeah,
wrong, he could
he
score
suffered.
goals,
He
but when
suffered
you
from
got
it.
other players like Thiago, Iwer Thiago, like Cunha, like Endrick, who are those strikers,
You are gonna pick them.
yeah,
Yeah, But for me, it's
Absolutely.
like, I mean, like it's easy to talk about this on this side, not like being the manager of these teams. But I mean, we
Ancelotti,
we've
yeah,
we have watched so much soccer, so many teams, the way teams play, especially in these World Cup after group stage. I mean, it's literally just single elimination. You know, like you
yeah.
lose one game, you're literally out. So it's
You're
like
done. Yeah,
having these type of players that can make that difference. Like if you need them to, if you're down one goal, you just need to tie it, whatever it may be. Like these players do make a difference. I think Joao Pedro for sure. I think that's the biggest omission for this team. Like
yeah.
there's not a lot. I would say maybe even
Maybe
like
Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva maybe for the veteran experience, but like they're already bringing a lot of defenders, which is very surprising.
Yeah,
I think this is one of the teams, at least from the official rosters, where
three,
like
four,
they have
five,
let me see
six, seven,
two,
nine. They have nine
yeah,
defenders.
9 defenders. So like
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah,
like in the midfield, they only brought 5. That's a lack in
five.
midfielders right there.
Yeah.
And
So that
then
kind of makes you
like
assume they're gonna play some sort of like, I don't
four
know,
three three.
4-4-3-3, or even like a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
Just thinking outside. Just real quick, maybe Casemiro and Bruno start as the sixes, and then you put Cam, Neymar, maybe on the left, Vini on the right. I don't know,
Rafinha. It would have to
Rafinha,
be
and then up
Rafinha,
top, Igor
Endrick,
Thiago. Yeah,
or
it just
Endrick.
sucks though
One
because
of those
now
two.
now you don't got enough midfielders to. Casemiro's not for 90 minutes.
No,
I'm sorry,
but
Bruno,
then you would swap them for like
Guimaraes maybe.
Paqueta.
Paqueta, yeah, just rotating them. I mean, I don't know.
But still,
This Brazil
that's
team
a
is,
lacking. Like midfielder wise,
yeah,
like that's lacking, man. Like
yes,
yeah, Casemiro cannot play the full 90. Maybe he'll do it
no,
because this is his last run, but no, he doesn't have the legs to play full 90.
no, he does not. And when these games get into the knockout stages, and it's that
And
tie 0-0, and
these games
yeah,
are quick too. I mean, the
yes,
World
they
Cup
are.
ends and it literally starts, and within 4 weeks it's over. So it's like you're
Yeah, so
playing
it's
like
everything's very quick.
yeah, like you don't get enough rest.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
but
I think
overall, I think the Brazil team, what, maybe 6 out of 10,
I say 6. Yeah, 6.
6, maybe quarterfinals, round of 16. I don't think it's very attack heavy. Midfielder down, they're gonna suffer a lot.
Brazil hasn't been playing great football for the last like few years. I would be surprised if they go past the quarterfinals. I mean, I would
I
want them
would
to go
too.
more. I would want them to go farther just because I mean, the Brazil, like it's Brazil, South American
Yeah.
team, Latin
And
country,
Neymar's finally making his comeback. It's
Neymar's making that
nostalgic. We,
comeback.
we
Yep,
do want to
yep.
see him with that last run before, he officially is done with the national team.
Yeah.
But yeah, past
I can't see him
quarterfinals, I
going
think is a
far.
win for them. No, me neither.
Yeah. Past quarterfinals is a dub. It's a huge dub for them. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe they'll surprise us, but as far as the way they've been playing and everything, I think a six
I
out
don't
of
think
ten
so.
is a valid option. Let's go to the next team. I think the most stacked team that we're probably gonna see in the entire World
The
Cup,
final.
the
Yeah.
France, and which
Yep.
they probably will be in the final. I'll swing by real quick, and then we'll talk about like who we think they should have maybe not called up, and then who they omitted. So Magnon at goalkeeper, 2 replacements: Digne, Lucas Hernandez, Theo Hernandez, Konate, Kunde, Saliba, Upamecano, and Lacroix.
And LaCroix. Yeah.
Midfielders, you got Kante, Kone, Rabiot, dog shit,
Rabbit. Yeah.
Chouameni, and then Zai
Zaire
Emery.
Mary. Yeah.
Yep. And then we got Barcola, Cherky, Dembele, Due, Mateta, Mbappe, Olise, and Thuram. That
Yep.
team is unbelievably stacked.
Yes. Yes.
Like that's like an all star team.
Yes, I agree. That's literally an all-star team. I probably give it 9.9. I don't give it a 10 out of 10. I think
I was gonna say
Rabiot,
nine point
and
five.
I would say 9.9 because overall their team is great. Rabiot,
Phenomenal.
there's nine to be. There's
Phenomenal.
yeah, phenomenal.
This
Rabiot
French
needs to
team
go.
is Rabbit.
Yeah,
My
that's the reason
God.
why it's not a 10 out of 10. Rabiot, whatever you want to call him, that boy needs to go. He should not be anywhere in the national team since even
He should
4 years
not.
ago. I think
Yeah.
him and Deschamps are literally boyfriend and boyfriend, but that's whatever. Camavinga or Rabiot,
I would
it doesn't make
Camavinga,
any sense.
Camavinga not being called up, but you had Rabiot, and Rabiot is like Mexico's Charlie Rodriguez. Like he
Yes,
was starting
yes,
every single game for multiple
yes,
years, but he was the
for no
worst player
reason.
on the pitch every single game. And
Absolutely,
same with
yes.
Rabiot. Rabiot's like the worst French player on the team, at least when they're
And
playing. Like maybe for club he's great, but for the national team,
no, I don't even think for
I
club he
just
sucks.
I just don't understand how like we watch the game, the fans watch it, and like you can tell when a player's playing bad. If they're having an off game, it's fine, like it happens. But when you have an off game every single game, but you're
Yeah, dude. Like
starting over other players that should be starting, instead of you, that it's a problem. It's an
he
actual
is
problem.
he is literally the Charlie Rodriguez, like you said,
Yeah.
of
Oh,
Mexico. He
100%. Yeah.
doesn't be anywhere near this squad.
He
That's why
doesn't
I give
need
it a
to be.
9.5. I fully expect them to be in the final, maybe even win it. There's not many teams that can compete with this team. I mean, if you just look at their attackers, you got Dembele, you got Cherki, who's very techy with the ball. You got Barcola, uh, Due, who's been coming up. Mbappe,
Olise,
Olise, Jesus, Mateta
like
up there, the big, strong dude who's you're not gonna move him from the ball. The midfielders, Kante, who could still run for days. Chouameni, who's a
Chouameni,
six.
Zaire
Zaire
Emery
Emery
for
could also play
PSG
in
that
the midfield,
plays
is also
great.
really good. Yes. And the
And then
back, the
Turkey plays
twins.
mid. Saliba,
Yes.
you got Saliba. Yeah, the twins, Theo and Lucas
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yeah. Saliba and Upamecano, I'm assuming, will be the starters. The twins can play out in the back if you're playing four in the back. If you want to get cute and put five, you can even put Saliba, Upamecano, and even
Kunde.
Kunde, and still play
Yeah,
with the twins out back. Or you can put Kunde as a right back.
yeah.
Malo Gusto also can come in, or Digne as a left back. This team is
This
very,
team,
very. I forgot about Konate. You can even throw in Konate in there. Konate, Saliba, Upamecano as a three.
this this
It,
this
it,
team.
it's yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't think there's nothing else to be said. I mean,
Yeah,
the biggest
this
one to
team's
me
just
that
broken.
got left out was Kamavinga.
Camavinga.
I still don't understand that. People are maybe thinking about Nkunku. I haven't heard of his name the whole year.
Yeah, nah.
Um,
I'm not.
some were
I'm not
asking why
surprised
isn't
about that one.
Griezmann, but Griezmann has been retired from international football for I think at least
Yeah,
2 years
he
now.
he retired.
Yeah, and then
Mendy's injury
Colomwani.
prone.
Yeah, Colomwani is he's just coming back from an injury too, and he just I don't yeah. It's
and he
Kamavinga. He's the only one
and he
that's been
and he cost France the World Cup last time. So
4 years ago. Yeah, that's true. Maybe he's
yeah,
shadow banned. Like they
yeah.
should shadow ban Rabiot, but
Camavinga's for sure like the biggest surprise, but overall, I mean, like it kind of doesn't matter because like this
yeah, it
this
doesn't.
squad is just insane. At least even like forwards wise, oh my god, man! Like you're gonna start Mbappe, Olise, and Dembele up front, and then as subs. So imagine you're facing this team. You're the defender. You're facing them for 90 minutes,
Oh
and then like minute
God.
70th, you see Barcola, Due, Thuram. Like just getting subbed on. You're like, oh my god! Now we're facing other players that are as talented, as quick, as
Yeah,
good, as efficient.
Jesus.
Like you're facing
Yes.
another starting like front three from any other national team. Another national team would love to have those, and they're gonna be
They're
on the bench.
starters, granted.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Now this team, I have them going to I have them winning the World Cup. I definitely have them winning the World Cup. With this squad, it's no surprise. They didn't omit players where I'm just like, oh my god, why would they not bring him? Camavinga,
yeah,
that's the only one for sure
that's the
that
only one.
I'm like he
That's
should.
why.
I think he should have been brought.
Yeah, this team, 9.5 out of 10. Get Rabiot. If Rabiot's out and Camavinga's in, maybe again that's the bias and that's the Madrid fans as well. But I think overall, granted,
Great.
take away our bias. This is the 10 out of 10 team. And
Yeah,
final
yeah.
should be winners, but we'll see how things play out.
Yep. Agreed. And now we're gonna go to the last squad for the World Cup that we're gonna be discussing at least
Portugal.
on today's episode. Yep, Portugal. So we got Diego Costa, keep. We got
Yeah.
Mateus Nunez, Dalot, Semedo.
Semedo.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised he got called up, to be honest. Joao Cancelo, Ruben Diaz,
And
Ignacio,
Gonzalo Ignacio.
Araujo, the left back, Viega,
Yeah.
and Nuno Mendes.
Vegan. Yep.
And so midfield, Costa, Ruben Neves, Vitinha, Joan Neves, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, and then forwards, Leao. I'm surprised Leao got called. I'm not going to lie. Conce, I don't even know how to say his name.
Conceição, Pedro Neto, Trincao, Joao Felix, Guedes,
Guedes,
Ramos, and
Ramos,
then Cristiano.
the GOAT,
Yes, the go
the GOAT.
indeed.
Man.
The this team, I mean, overall, I think it's the squad they picked was the right one. I don't
Yes.
agree with Martinez's choice of four goalies. I believe they're the only team going with four goalies.
Yeah, that's actually a little insane. Like that I feel like that's a waste, you know? You could
Yes,
use one of those
absolutely.
keeper spots for any other spot.
Yes. The one that sticks out to me that didn't get called up, Mateus Hernandez. I know West Ham is in
Oh
that
yeah, from
relegation
West Ham.
battle. They're most likely going to go down tomorrow because tomorrow's the last day of Premier League. Um,
No, not if Spurs lose.
I was things have to go their way, but even with the relegation battle, I think Mateus Hernandez has been their most solid center mid.
He's been
He's
great.
21 years. Yeah, he's 21 if I'm not
Been great.
mistaken. Young center mid. I get it. You got players like Vitinha, João Neves, Bruno, and even Ruben Neves as a bench player, or even Silva who played there in the mid. But just take out a goalie and throw another center mid in there. Doesn't hurt you. I mean,
Agreed.
and when if you're losing and you need to fix things, you could throw Bernardo up top because he also sometimes plays out wide. A little older now, plays more in the center mid, but if you need to throw him out wide, you can throw him out wide. If you need to throw Bruno a little higher, then you have someone
He's
that
able
can
to do
maybe
it.
recover the ball. Exactly, correct.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the only one.
Yeah,
I
having
know you
four
said you're surprised.
goalkeepers.
Yeah, it's weird. I know you said you're surprised about Leao. It's just been an up and down season, but I mean, can you really blame Martinez? Who's another left winger for that team?
They don't. I
Joao
mean,
Felix, maybe. I mean,
oh wait, did Felix get called up?
Joao Felix didn't get
Oh
called
yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
so it's like there's not really many options on that left
Yeah,
side.
yeah. And at the end of the
He,
day, like even if he doesn't start, he's one of those like at least pace wise, and when on his day
he
he's a very talented footballer. It's just he hasn't had a great season. But like you are right.
exactly.
Like if he needs to make like the difference, some sort of
Yeah,
difference, just
yeah.
do something. He does have the potential to do that. And you're right. Like who else are they gonna bring in from like that got admitted from around the world that could replace him? I don't think there's a name actually. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a name. So
I think
you are right on that.
overall, yeah, I'll give the team probably like overall 8.5. I'm also expecting.
Yep, 8 points,
I'm expecting
8.5,
actually semis. I think they're one of the top heavier teams.
and they play
In the
very well
tournament.
to.
You were saying?
This is like they play very well together. Like this is one of those teams where like they die for each other on the pitch.
Yes.
Like they
Yes.
chemistry wise, like yeah, there's other teams that might have like individual talent might be a little better, but like overall as a actual team, like a cohesive team, they play very very well.
Yeah. I think Roberto Martinez has his team on the right track. This is probably going
Yes,
to be the last great Portuguese team we see
for a
in a
while.
minute. Yeah, because after that, Ronaldo's going to retire. Bruno's on the wrong side of 30. I think he's 31 now. I think in 4 years out, he's going to be 35.
Yeah.
A lot of these players are going to be on the wrong side of 30 in 4 years.
Oh yeah, Ruben
So,
Diaz, like Ruben
yeah,
Neves, Joao
yep,
Felix, like there's a lot of players,
yes,
yeah, where they're gonna be like, okay,
yeah,
they won't be around for the next World Cup, or they're gonna be one of those
yeah.
just the veteran
You're
players that
about
get
to,
called up.
exactly. You still got Mendes. You still got Vitinha. You still got João Neves. You have a
There's
couple
still some stars,
players.
some
Yeah, Diogo
talent.
Costa. So you got a couple. I guess
You
you
got
say
some young,
youngsters, but I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
this team right now is a very
Well
veteran
rounded.
heavy team. Yes,
Yes,
well
yes.
rounded, but very veteran heavy. That like if they don't find some way to freshen things up, then they could start becoming like an Italy who's been relying on old players for God knows how long, and now it's three World
It was
Cups. that we don't see a team who's won, I think, what, 4 World Cups in their history. It
Yeah.
hasn't gone in three, like, and hasn't gone in 3 different editions. Yeah, they need to start slowly finding, and then they're not going to find Ronaldo's replacement, but they need to start finding replacements for those players who are not going to be there in 4 years.
Is this the third or fourth World Cup that Italy's missing?
Third, because they 2006 they won, 2010 they got grouped,
Oh,
2014 they
okay.
also got grouped. So 18, 22, and 26. This would be the third one.
Oh yeah. 18, 22, and 26. Damn. Yeah,
Yeah,
3 World Cups, like they were
yeah,
relying too heavily on their veterans. It's like you can't do
veterans,
that.
and it's just
You
no.
can't.
And you hit on
Now,
it too. It's a 4 week tournament. Before you
yeah,
know it, blink of an eye, it's done. And
it's done.
your
Yep.
older players are not gonna, they're not gonna last you that long. Like
Nah.
Ronaldo, even with his age right now, 41, I don't think he's for 90 minutes unless like you need him in those knockout games.
Yes.
Um,
Like
I would not be
sub 'em out.
surprised throughout the group stage. Granted, he will be starting. He is your captain. He is your goat. He is the goat. But they're
The
also going
go.
to have to find ways to keep him refreshed because if they try to burn him out quick,
It's yeah.
it's gonna be a
Knockout.
long tournament for Portugal. They don't have that firepower that he provides.
Yes.
I know it's in an instant, but if they don't have him fresh, it's gonna be hard to start finding goals from other places because they kind of do rely on him to score.
Oh yeah, yeah, and which is crazy is too. Like he's 41 years old, and yet you
Yeah.
can't name a striker on this planet from Portugal that you would replace Ronaldo with. Like
No.
you can't. So like yeah,
No,
they're
no
gonna
shade
rely
to
on him.
Gonzalo Ramos. No shade to Gonzalo Guedes.
Joao
It's
Felix.
just Joao Felix is just you're just not Ronaldo. I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't. Yeah, you just can't. And it's no shade
You,
to them. It's just the truth.
yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, like regardless of his age, like if he's in the box, he's like a Holland, like a Kane, like he will finish.
Yeah,
And you're
exactly.
right. Like it's a 4 week tournament. He's gonna burn out quick if they're trying to play him for 90 minutes every single game, especially early on. So like they
Yep.
they are gonna have to pace him out, sub him out like 60th, 70th minute, whatever.
And
Like
and if they
that
got
time
games in
makes a difference.
Mexico, the altitude also. A lot of
It'll
these
be a
European teams
difference.
are not used to playing the altitude.
Oh yeah,
Um, so if they got games in Mexico, especially they go to La Azteca, I mean
yeah,
that's already a disadvantage for
yep,
teams who can run for days. Now, yeah, you can't run for so much now because you're playing at an altitude which is something they're not used to playing at all.
yeah. No, no, absolutely. Yeah, I rate this like a 8.5, 8.5 out of these 4 teams. France definitely is the best one. I would actually
Yeah.
put Portugal as the second best.
Yes.
Third,
I probably put England. I probably put England and
England,
then
then
Brazil
Brazil.
fourth. I just think again England maybe doesn't have like the stars, but I'm assuming Tuchel is trying to bring a more compact, cohesive, will work together team instead of relying on
The
individualities to win him games. That's just my take.
Yeah, and I mean it's a double-edged sword. Either it's gonna be what a great idea and like it worked phenomenal, or he's gonna get fired the moment they're out of the tournament, and everyone's gonna hate him.
Yes. And back
There's
to Germany
there's
he
no
goes.
yeah, there's no if and buts about it.
Yeah.
Like it's either gonna be a great idea or man, what were you thinking?
What
And
we're
like he's
thinking
gonna get
exactly.
slandered by everybody. I mean, we're
Yep.
slandering him a tad bit too because it's like, what is he thinking? Like I'm actually surprised. I'm bamboozled. I'm bamboozled as to what
Yeah.
Tuchel was thinking with this squad, man.
Yeah. But well, I mean, we're talking now on paper, but maybe the man's cooking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see how it works out. But all right, man. We talking about these 4 squads. We'll see once other squads start getting released. We'll start discussing that, and we'll also be discussing who we think are going to be the winners of each group, what teams we think are going to go far. We'll make our own brackets, and that's going to be coming up like in the next 2 weeks. Because I mean, the World Cup's in what 17 days. 17
Yeah,
days.
17 days. Yep, two and a half
Yep.
weeks.
Yep, yep. So I want to like keep on talking about different rosters that are getting released, how those teams, how we feel about them, and then eventually we start talking about like who we think are gonna win from each group stage.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, that was today's episode. For anyone's listening, thank you, and Sergio, thank you for being on with me.
Thanks, Ray.
All right, bet. See ya.